I'm Chad. You're watching Squarebody Stuff. And before we get into our first video of 2024, I want to announce that we finally got a website set up to sell merchandise. You can find the hats there, which they'll be a lot cleaner than this dirty old thing. Same hats, got the patch, mesh back, very comfortable hats. This one's over a year old, holding up great. We've also got t-shirts. We got the heather gray and the black Squarebody Stuff logo. And we got the keychains that I make myself, other than the patch. Patches are laser etched, come from the same place I get my hats from. But it's got a brass grommet, nice little key ring on there. Pretty cool little deal. And we've also got stickers. We've got large and small OG Squarebody Stuff stickers. We've also got large and small round stickers, just like our avatars or wherever on social media you'll find us. This is what you'll see. And a limited supply of 339 bald eagles. So go check out the website, buy something. Everything that you buy will help support all my bad financial decisions. Once again, squarebodystuff.shop. Go check it out. Now let's get to working on Squeaky. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're going to be working on Squeaky again. Still got a lot of stuff I want to do this truck before we take him to the track this spring. And you can tell I've already got the front end off of him again. So taking the fenders and the hood off this thing only takes about 8 minutes. I just timed it, so surely less than 10 minutes. I could probably get it done in 5 if everything went perfectly, but anyhow, I just used a minimal amount of bolts to hold these fenders on. I've got 2 up here on the driver's side on the radiator support. This one right here and the one down below. I don't use this one back here, which that was not hard to get to. You can just open the door, but it's just one last bolt. And on the fender for these bolts, I've got the fender slotted. So I don't have to take this bolt all the way out. I could slide it in and kind of set it on there, get everything lined up. And on this side, I've got a bolt up here and 2 bolts for the battery tray, and then the same thing back here on the other side. For right now, I still got my battery up here. I do want to relocate it back to the side box on the passenger side eventually. I just haven't got all of the materials to do that yet. So, but that's going to be happening. That'll make that a little bit easier too. But what we're going to be doing in this video is trying to get some exhaust on this thing. As you can see, I have got the Flow Monster straight through mufflers just zip screwed right to the headers. I did that in an attempt to kind of quieten it down if I drive it back and forth to town. It's a little bit quieter, but it just echoes right off the ground, and it's just a deeper tone. It really rattles everything. So I need to put some full exhaust on this so I can drive it around and not annoy too many people, including me. It's fun for a little bit, sounds good, but it gets old pretty quick. And just to get those mufflers on there, I had to cut about this much off the end of the collector on those headers. But I was gonna have to do that anyways to get the exhaust ran. I'm gonna be welding these to the headers. They're Hedman header collector ends, but they're kind of made more for the ball and socket in like I usually use. They fit really well. I'll be welding these onto the headers, and this will be the start of the exhaust. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, other than just run it down, have a 45, run it back, and probably come out in there somewhere. And eventually I'm going to be building some actual race exhaust, whatever you want to call it, that probably I'm going to try to get to where it comes out of the fender. And that brings me to something else I'm going to be doing while I have the front end off. As you can see, I've got a lot of bracing cut out of the hood. Makes it quite a bit lighter. It's pretty flimsy, but it still works. But on the inside of the fenders, I'm going to try to cut out as much of that as I possibly can too. And keep the hood hinges for now. There's quite a bit I can cut out. Now I've thought about making some brackets for the rear and making this a lift-off hood. I'm not sure. That's just they're kind of a pain in the butt having a full lift-off hood, especially if you're just doing it by yourself. I can manage that hood by myself, but I don't know. Haven't got that far yet. So, and before I get to the exhaust, I'm going to go ahead and pull the valve covers off because I've got some new fancy valve cover gaskets that should seal these things up and not have any problems with it. They're steel core, Fel-Pro, pretty heavy duty units there. Shouldn't have any problems with the valve covers leaking after this. And while I'm in there, I'm going to adjust the valves, just check everything over, see what we got going on. That escalated rather quickly. Okay, I've gathered myself together. Let me explain. So while adjusting the valves, checking everything over, everything seemed okay until I got the number 7 intake valve. And before I made any adjustments, number 7 intake valve, the rocker arm was a little looser than I expected it to be. And at first I tried to play it off as, you know, maybe I didn't get a good adjustment on it last time. It really couldn't have loosened up because the poly lock, well, let me show you what I got. Of course, I've got the poly locks for these roller rockers, and I've also got stud girdles. But it's not very likely it's going to back off because you're basically doubled up on your locking down your rocker arm nut because you've got the poly locks and the stud girdles. So I thought, well, maybe I just got a bad adjustment on it last time, and this was before the dyno session. So that kind of got my hopes up because when we were at the dyno session, if you watch that video, we were trying everything we could to get 1 horsepower per cubic inch to the hubs. And we were off by just under 7 horsepower. Now, if that rocker arm was not adjusted correctly for whatever reason, probably because I'm human and don't know what I'm doing sometimes, that could have potentially been that extra little bit of horsepower we needed to get to our goal. But also in the back of my mind, knowing that this is a hydraulic flat tappet camshaft, we beat on it pretty hard, 17 pulls. It was not a brand new camshaft. Let me kind of go back on that. This camshaft and lifters were a match set that were in the 305 prior to tearing it down and rebuilding it. When I reinstalled it in this engine, they were matched perfectly. The camshaft looked perfect, had a perfect wear pattern on it. Lifters all looked good, so I reused them. During the break-in procedure, I actually redid a break-in procedure just like it would be a brand new camshaft. So I made every precaution to make sure we didn't have any issues with the camshaft. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm just going to go ahead and send it. I know everything's okay. I know my build. But the fact that it was loose kept gnawing at me in the back of my mind. What if? And I'm getting old enough now that I don't do the what ifs anymore. Double check, pull it apart. It's just nuts and bolts. Take it apart. But I didn't want to. It's kind of like going to the doctor. I may need to go to the doctor for something, but I don't want to hear what they have to tell me. So I've been kind of putting this off, and I was on the phone with my good buddy Ryan Wing from Streetcar Chronicles YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to him, go check him out. They've got a lot of cool stuff going on. His son Jake has a YouTube channel also, Hot Rodding with Jake. Go check those guys out. They're down in Texas. They're a long ways away from me, but we're close. If I'm having issues, it seems like he's on the phone with me and out of the blue telling me what I need to do to kick me in the butt to get me going. So as I was talking to Ryan, he told me what I already knew I needed to do. He said, just pull the oil filter, cut the oil filter, see if there's anything in the oil filter. If there's not anything, you're good to go. So after a little consideration that Ryan was right, that's what I did. You'll have to excuse the mess. Tex made the mess. I didn't do all this. I just handed the parts to Tex, and he spread them out everywhere. But after pulling the filter apart, which I've got a video on doing this, but this is one of the reasons why I want to do that video, is because if you have any issues, you can cut your filter and kind of check and see what's going on. And as you can see, there are just a few little sparkles. Now, it's not on every pleat, it's not covered, it's not a 1970s boat paint job or nothing, but there's enough sparkles in the oil filter media that I wanted to dig into it and see what we got going on mechanically. Of course, obviously I was expecting to find a lifter and camshaft lobe just completely wiped out, but not the case. Number 7, if I can get it out. It's just fine. I was able to roll it over, looked at the lobe as best I could, and it is fine also. So after checking that one, the one that was really suspect, I checked all the rest of them. Everything seems perfectly fine with the camshaft and lifters. So where are the sparkles coming from? Now, something I noticed while I was pulling the rocker arms off. Yeah. The valve cover also has some marks on it. Now, there's a small possibility that there's something else going on, but I think the rocker arms rubbing on the valve covers is where my sparkles came from. There's no indication of anything else going wrong in this side of this engine. Oil pressure's still fine. Everything was still great. So I gotta wait for a set of intake manifold gaskets to come in. That'll be next week because this is the first year. You know, we gotta wait for New Year's Day and all that stuff because I'm filming this prior to New Year's Day. This is coming out after New Year's because that's the way it goes. But so anyhow, I'm kind of spent. We've made some headway on Squeaky, took a couple steps back, but we're gonna keep making forward steps from this point forward. Yeah. Now I just gotta wait for the intake manifold gaskets to come in. I'll probably go ahead and put everything back together minus that, and then start on the exhaust, but that'll be in the next video because yeah, this video kind of went sideways. Got thrown a curveball, but that's life. That is hot rodding. And a takeaway from this is if you have an issue and you're second guessing whatever it is, stop, assess the whole situation, and figure it all out. Take your steps, and that's why I'm doing my YouTube channel. There's why a lot of guys are out there doing YouTube channels, is to pass on this kind of information. I could have very easily done all of this, got this all figured out, and not filmed it, and you guys have been none the wiser. But I took it as an educational moment for you guys to show you if you have an issue, just dive into it, figure it out. It may be nothing. You may waste some time, waste some money. Basically, I'm just wasting an oil filter and an intake manifold gaskets and some time, but it'd be a whole lot better than wiping this whole engine out with a bunch of metal debris from the camshaft. Now, I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I am looking forward to what 2024 has in store for us. I hope you guys will stick around. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember to go hit Ryan with Streetcar Chronicles and Jake with Hot Rodding with Jake. Those guys, go give them support. Tell them that Chad sent you from Squarebody Stuff. And also don't forget to hit our new website up, squarebodystuff.shop, and check out our merch. We've got some cool stuff in store for 2024. We got some events we'll be bringing up later on down the road. Hope you guys stick around and watch it. Until next time, y'all keep your square bodies rolling. We'll catch you later.